Is ICF credentialing even necessary? Now, if you're watching this video, maybe you already are credentialed or beginning to work towards becoming ICF certified as a coach. And somewhere in the back of your mind, perhaps there's a question that keeps showing up. Does anyone on the other side of this table actually care if I'm certified or not? And it's a fair question. And today I want to give you the honest answer, not the version that ICF puts out in their marketing, and not the version that the coaching skeptics love to repeat, the real answer. And here's the thing, the truth is actually more useful than either extreme because it depends on one specific factor. And once you understand what that factor is, the whole certification question becomes a lot clearer. Let's get into it. First, let me give you some context because the coaching world looks very different than it did, let's say, 10 years ago. According to the 2025 ICF Global Coaching Study, there are now over 122,000 coach practitioners worldwide. That's 15% increase since 2023. And the industry is generating over $5 billion a year in revenue. That's remarkable growth. But here's what it also means. It means that the market is also a bit crowded. And in a crowded market, getting in the door with corporate clients is harder. More coaches are competing for the same contracts. More coaches are making the same promises. So the question isn't just, does ICF matter? The better question is, what does it take to get a corporate client to say yes to you? And the answer to that question is where things get interesting. And let me start by sharing a number to pay attention to. The 2025 ICF Global Coaching Study found that 73% of coaches agree that clients and organizations expect them to have a coaching credential. 73%, that's not a small number. And the 2022 ICF Consumer Awareness Study, which surveyed over 30,000 people across 30 countries, found that 85% of clients value coaches with credentials. So on the surface, the data is pretty clear. Credentials matter. But here's where it gets nuanced, because language matters also. There's a difference between valuing something and requiring it. One veteran coach I know who'd been coaching full-time for nearly 18 years shared something I think a lot of us can relate to. He said in all that time, he'd been asked about ICF accreditation exactly once. And that client hired him anyways, even though he didn't have the credential. So which is it? Does ICF certification open corporate doors or not so much? And the answer is yes. And the answer is also sometimes no. And it completely depends on who is doing the hiring. And here's where the picture comes into clear focus. There are two types of corporate buyers, and they think about the credentials quite differently. The first type is the HR department, human resources. And if HR is your entry point into a corporate client, it's often through the ICF certification. It isn't a nice to have, it's the price of admission. And here's why. HR departments are responsible for managing risk. They're not in the business of taking chances. And when they're reviewing coaches, they aren't evaluating your methodology, they're checking boxes. They want to see the credentials. They want proof of training. They want documentation. One source with years of HR experience put it this way. They will want to see the certificates and proof of competency. They don't want to roll the dice on someone who sounds credible but has nothing to back it up, especially when another candidate has MCC after their name. And it's not just the individual HR departments that are playing it safe. Research on the US corporate coaching market shows that many organizations, especially in finance, tech, and consulting, now include ICF credential required directly in their job postings for internal coaching roles. HR departments often shortlist coaches based on credentials before they ever review their industry experience. And that means your credential isn't just a differentiating factor, it's the filter. You either make it past the filter or you don't. And many corporate contracts, leadership development programs, and even HR-driven coaching initiatives now ask specifically for ICF credentialed coaches. Without that credential, those doors are not open, no matter how skilled you are. So if HR is in your path to corporate clients, this is not optional. Now let's talk about the second type of corporate buyer, the senior executive, the CEO, the VP of leadership development, the decision maker who isn't in HR. This buyer operates very differently. At this level, coaches are often hired through referral networks. Someone respected says, hey, you need to talk to this person. And that introduction carries more weight than any set of letters after your name. And research confirms this. People in close professional circles tend to connect with coaches through word of mouth recommendations, not by sorting through credentials and association memberships. So at the C-suite level, what matters most is chemistry, results, and trust. But here's the important part. Your credential still matters, just in a different way. Think of it like this. Your ICF credential is like a well-tailored suit. The senior executive isn't hiring your suit, they're hiring you. But showing up without one sends a signal. The credential isn't the reason they say yes, it's the reason that they don't say no before they even hear your pitch. Corporate coaching commands a high price point, and clients want to feel that confidence in their investment. And your credential reduces that friction. It's part of how you signal that you're a serious professional. Let's zoom out for a moment, because underneath the credential question is a bigger question. What do corporate clients actually want from a coach? The answer is simple: results. And the data backs that up. According to recent research, 87% of organizations report a positive ROI from coaching, citing gains in productivity, retention, and goal achievement. They're not investing in coaching because someone had a nice credential. They're investing because coaching moves the needle. So here's how I think about it. The credential opens the door. Your results get you referred, and those are two different games. The ICF credential signals something important. It tells an organization that you've been trained in a methodology grounded in competency, ethics, and a client-centered approach, that you know the difference between coaching and consulting, that you understand professional boundaries, and that you hold yourself to a high standard. That matters especially when working with organizations and they're putting their leaders in the room with you. And for those of us who combine ICF-aligned coaching with NLP, there's an additional layer of depth that we bring. NLP gives us powerful tools for behavioral change, mindset shifts, and accelerating results. ICF gives us the professional framework that corporate clients recognize and trust. And that combination is rare, and it sets you apart in the marketplace. If you're building toward corporate coaching contracts, here's a simple way to think about it. If your path into corporate clients runs through HR departments, credentialing and compliance teams, or formal RFP processes, ICF certification is non-negotiable. You gotta get it. If your path runs through senior executive referral networks, leadership development, consulting, or high-trust relationship-based sales, then the credential still helps, but it's not necessarily the lead. Your results, your presence, and your positioning do the heavy lifting for you. One source who works with coaches at all levels put it clearly: going into corporate or executive coaching, ICF certification is probably worth the investment. HR departments want to see credentials. When choosing between two coaches, the one with PCC after their name gets the call. It's not always fair, but it's how it works. So as we turn back to our question, do corporate clients care about ICF certification? The truth is, it depends on which corporate client you're talking about. Some will never hire you without it, and others will never ask. And the question that actually matters isn't, does the credential matter? The question is, who am I trying to serve, and what do they need to see before they can trust me? You get clear on that, and the certification question answers itself. If you're building toward corporate coaching and you want to understand how ICF credentials and NLP work together as a genuine competitive advantage, take a look at the programs linked below. And let me know in the comment section, are you targeting corporate clients yourself? Have credentials come up in your conversations with prospective clients? I look forward to joining you in the conversation. That's it for this one. Until next time, develop yourself, empower others, and lead by example.